Willow Creek, a sleepy town, population small, secrets bigger than its church steeple. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows. The air, usually sweet with honeysuckle, now held a chill. Something was amiss. Sheriff Roy Truman squinted at the gathering dusk. A man of few words, Roy was all action. He'd seen a lot in his 30 years patrolling Willow Creek. But this was different. A shiver, and not from the evening breeze, ran down his spine. A loud knock echoed from the station's door. Roy turned, hand instinctively hovering over his holster. Old Man Hemlock stood there, face pale, eyes wide with fear. "Sheriff," he gasped, "it's gone. The clock tower. It's stopped." Roy narrowed his eyes. The clock tower? It had kept time in Willow Creek for over a century, a silent sentinel watching over the town. For it to stop, it was unheard of. A knot of unease tightened in Roy's gut. This wasn't just a broken clock. This was a message. The night was eerily silent, the kind of silence that makes you feel like the world is holding its breath. Roy drove towards the clock tower, the only landmark in this desolate part of town. The road was empty, and the headlights of his car cut through the darkness like a knife. Even the crickets seemed to hold their breath, as if they too were aware of the gravity of the night. He parked by the old water tower, its rusted frame groaning in the wind, a relic of a bygone era. Footprints, fresh and undisturbed, led into the cornfield bordering the clock tower. They were too fresh to be more than a few hours old. He pushed through the stalks, their dry leaves whispering like gossiping townsfolk, each step making a soft crunch underfoot. A glint of metal caught his eye, a small but unmistakable flash amidst the darkness. A silver locket lay nestled amongst the corn husks, its surface reflecting the moonlight like a beacon. He picked it up and turned it over, recognizing the inscription, "To my dearest Emily." Emily Miller. She had vanished without a trace a year ago, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and broken hearts. Roy's heart raced as he scanned the area, knowing that this discovery could be the key to unraveling the mystery that had haunted the town for so long. Determined, he vowed to follow the clues, no matter where they led, to finally bring Emily home. The iron door to the clock tower creaked open, protesting after years of disuse. The sound echoed through the empty halls, a ghostly reminder of the tower's forgotten past. Roy stepped inside, the musty air thick with the smell of dust and forgotten time. Each step he took stirred up tiny clouds of particles, dancing in the dim light filtering through the grimy windows. Cobwebs clung to the gears of the massive clock mechanism, frozen at precisely 11:06. The once mighty machine now stood as a silent sentinel, its purpose long abandoned. But it was the message scrawled on the wall in what looked like charcoal that made his blood run cold. Time waits for no one. The words seemed to pulse with a life of their own, a chilling reminder of the relentless march of time. He ran a hand over the rough inscription, his mind racing. The texture of the wall was gritty, the charcoal smudging slightly under his touch. Emily, the stopped clock, the message. It was all connected. He could feel it in his bones, a puzzle waiting to be solved. But how, and who was behind it all? The questions swirled in his mind, each one more pressing than the last. A new sound broke the silence. Footsteps, heavy and deliberate. Someone was approaching. Roy's heart pounded in his chest as he turned towards the sound, bracing himself for whatever or whoever was coming. He whirled around, his hand reaching for his holster, the cold metal of the gun a familiar comfort in his palm. His heart pounded in his chest, each beat echoing in the silent night. A figure emerged from the shadows, their face hidden by the hood of a dark jacket. The air seemed to thicken with tension as the figure stepped closer, their movements deliberate and menacing. "Looking for something, Sheriff?" a voice rasped, sending chills down Roy's spine. The voice was eerily familiar, yet twisted with a sinister edge that made his blood run cold. The figure threw back their hood, revealing the face of someone Roy thought he'd never see again. It was a face etched in his memory, a ghost from his past that had haunted his dreams. Someone everyone in Willow Creek believed had left town a year ago. The quiet streets of the small town held their breath, as if the very air was waiting for the next revelation. Someone who held the key to the mystery of the stopped clock and Emily's disappearance. The clock had stopped at midnight, the same time Emily vanished, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions. Someone who had orchestrated it all, the mastermind behind the plot, pulling the strings from the shadows, watching as the town unraveled. "You?" Roy breathed, his voice a mixture of disbelief and anger. The game was over. The truth was finally within reach, and Roy could feel the weight of it pressing down on him. The secrets of Willow Creek were about to be revealed. Hidden truths that had festered in the dark were now coming to light, and the town would never be the same again.